What's up, everybody? It's your favorite unapologetic sexologist, Michelle Hope, here for Just the Tip Tuesday. Yes, that's right. Another edition. And this week I am super excited because I am going to be joined by a friend and an incredible actor named Mahdi Cocci. I'm going to bring him in a little bit. But today I'm evolving. We're becoming. I recently heard and read something that looked at change, since we are all faced with it right now, and it's extreme. So the idea is that things are not changing, we are becoming. We are becoming like a new person, a new world, to say the least. So happy Tuesday, everybody. Today I'm going to be bringing in, like I said, a friend of mine, an actor on the new BET Plus streaming show, Bruh. All right, so I had to do my research because my friend Mahdi Cocci is in it, and I've known him since he was an actor, and I kind of got to see this evolution of him going from an actor in Hollywood to a model in Hollywood to an actor now. He's in Atlanta, so he's joining us. I'm going to pull him in like 2 minutes. I want to know where you guys are checking in from, who's in the house, how y'all doing today. We'll let a couple people get on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am trying to wave, but I'm not super tech savvy. I have to get better. I'm over here looking like, I don't know, Teddy Riley on the lives, acting like a little bit of Nelly. Brooklyn's in the house. We love to see that. So, welcome to another edition of Just the Tip Tuesdays. I am going to bring in my guest today is actor, model extraordinaire on BET Plus's new streaming show, Bruh's, Mahdi Cocci. Come on in. Are you in? Did I add you? See if my tech skills are working. The Bronx is in the house. We like that. New York is in the house. Did I add you? Oh, hey, Mahdi, how are you?
Hey, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can. How are you today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining me on Just the Tip Tuesdays. It's where I give like tips on dating or love, or I teach a lesson on like sexuality. And your show's pretty sexy, bruh. It is an amazing show. So I met you, I like to give people some context. I met you, 2007, maybe? 8?
Yeah, it would have been in that time frame. It's hard to, all those years kind of mesh, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I tell people, like my post, like when I was active duty in the Navy, like my time after that being like in LA and was in New York a little bit, like that was a little, it's kind of meshed together, but it would have been, probably 07, 08, definitely, yeah.
Yes. And then you had just come out of the Navy and you came to LA and you started modeling. That's kind of how you got into the entertainment space, right?
Correct.
By the way, thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate that, So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy to be here talking to you, and it's an interesting thing. I mean, I had started modeling my senior year of high school, and then I went to college, and I went to college on an ROTC scholarship, so I was in school full time, and I was like I had an agency at the time in New York that wanted me to go there, but school education was always stressed how I grew up, so it was like, well, I can't just not go to school. And I didn't really fully understand like what the opportunities meant at the time. I started taking some acting classes in college, and those were fun. I was excited, but it wasn't a super heavy kind of like drama school or anything like that. I went to University of Pittsburgh, so they had a small, less than robust drama theater department, I suppose. And then I was full time in the Navy, and then once I got off active duty, that's when I moved to LA, and I was modeling. I said I moved to LA to act, and it's hindsight's a thing, like I realize now that I was so scared of it, so I avoided it. I went to a couple of classes. I was like the worst in the class, and the teacher would kind of, it was rough. You know what I mean? Like I didn't like to go to class and be critiqued in the way that was unfavorable. So I would I would skip classes, and that was the dumbest thing you can do because I was paying for those classes. And I didn't have
Right.
a lot of money, so I'm paying like $15 a class, or $50 a class, and I'm like skipping it, just and modest money I'm not going to get back. And it was like I had to sort of learn that, and then so I used every other excuse in the book. It's like, oh well, modeling's paying me, so I'm going to focus on that. And then I
Right.
relocated to New York, and when I came back to LA, I still didn't get back into classes, and I never really tried to get any kind of representation. I was just, again, like I was thankfully booking a little bit of modeling, a little bit of commercials, like enough to sort of stay afloat, so I could stay in that comfort zone and not face my fears. And then I was in the reserves the whole time. And my last opportunity with the reserves, I actually went overseas. I had like a deployment. I was working as a liaison officer, living and working overseas in UAE, like just outside of Dubai. I was living in Dubai and working in Jebel Ali. And that was almost a year activation. Then when I came back, that's when I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna use the same excuses. I'm just gonna
Go
kind
for
of
it.
grit my teeth and go for it. I can't, I was able to save a little bit of money doing that. I had like a good commercial running as well as like made my Navy money. So when I got back, I said, I'm just going to get in class. I left the reserve. So I put the Navy in the rear view. So nothing pulling me for a weekend or anything else to take me away from it. I can just focus on this, single, no kids. And really nothing can be, I can put this as priority where nothing else is going to take precedent. And spending a
It's
lot of money. I was taking multiple classes and whatnot, and
it's
you
paid
know,
off.
thankfully, yeah, thankfully, we're starting to get to a point where there's I'm approaching the light, so to
The
speak. I mean,
light
it's not
at the end
not
of the
close to
tunnel.
it's not close to the end, but it's just like I'm starting to see that like I'm not just going into darkness. There's like something ahead of this, and super exciting. I'm extremely grateful and thankful to just be a part of for this project to be my first like leading role, and
Right.
the cast that I work with and Tyler Perry and like everybody really involved with it has
Yeah. Yeah.
been just made it like everything's right, like
Yeah.
divine timing.
I binge watched everything I could of
Nice.
Bruh.
Yeah.
And when does that air? Because it comes out weekly, correct?
Yeah, so it's the first four are out now, and it's going to be
Hmm.
one is going to be released per week on BET streaming. So yeah, they're shorter. They're like half-hour episodes. So if you want to wait until you can binge a lot of them, I understand that. But
And there's a lot to binge. There is a
and
lot.
honestly, here's what I would say. I mean, the good stuff is really coming up. Like the initial first four episodes, getting a little introduction, seeing who's who in the zoo. But I think that these next like these next three, four, really you start to see the spine of
Of
of,
the
of
story.
who we are and
Okay.
why we're doing
Because
what we're doing. So I'm excited because I'm watching it myself. Like I'm a fan, So I'm
yeah.
like I'm waiting for the next episode because I haven't seen it.
Oh, you have it.
I haven't seen it. No,
Well,
I
it's
see it when
let
you
me
see it.
so let me tell the people watching. You know, I was not expecting it to be, and I work in this space of dating and relationships. I did not expect it to be as raw as it was. This
Yeah,
is not a children's show at
not for
all.
kids. No,
No,
it's
no, no.
R-rated right here.
It was definitely R-rated. It was giving me, I don't know, Red Shoe Diaries. I don't know if anybody's ever watched that. When I was coming up, coming of age, learning to explore what turned me on. Red
I
Shoe
said, I said,
Diaries
I said
was on
HBO. You had to
Showtime.
sneak at your friend's parents' house, like when they
Yes.
were asleep. Yeah,
Yes,
I
and you would
remember.
have the channel, the other channel, so you could immediately
You could
hit
flip back like you
back,
weren't doing nothing wrong.
the back button. Oh, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? No titties on the screen. So I was shocked. The characters are, like you said, the first four episodes, we're kind of getting to know them. You play Tom, a doctor, and you have a nurse that's a little crazy in your office, is what I picked up on. But you are the talk of the town. You're like the man of the hour, very George Clooney in his hospital role. Very handsome, but it is spicy. So tell me a little bit about
Thank you.
your character, Tom.
So yeah, like in the friend group, I sort of break out as like the, I guess you could say the bookworm, right? I mean, we all were friends in college, and now we've all gone to our professions. everybody's, now professional. And I'm a doctor, and I kind of had it as we get into the outset of the story, I've already had a thing with this nurse coworker,
Right.
and I don't I don't want to take it there because I want to keep everything professional. So this happened. I feel like it was a mistake, and I'm trying to kind of.
She's not managing it well.
Yeah, and hey, here's the thing.
I
Like,
don't know. I don't know if any woman could though, Mahdi. Let's be real. If you were a doctor in the office and there was a bunch of nurses who were into men, they might be into you. You're a
well,
striking young man, and in the show, you're a good looking doctor.
and again, thank you. And I don't want to blame her for her for her reaction. I just want her to kind of exercise some professionalism, and let's move beyond this, and let's get back to work, and let's focus on that. So that poses a difficulty because that's not exactly what she had in mind.
Yes,
And you'll see what ensues if you take a watch, and then
I
yeah.
cannot wait. I just want to know. So you guys are tackling dating while navigating careers, having a group of friends, a group of brotherhoods. It's called Bruh. And there's always the one who's just not quite getting there.
Yeah.
There's always that one. So in the film, in the series, it's funny to see the antics that come about. And you also address some like dating issues, like the one that got away. How do you know if it's the one that you really want to be with? Are you just messing around? Do you feel like this show is a great kind of reflection of what dating is like for career-driven singles?
I absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. I think like when we tune in to watch television or to watch cinema, right? It's like we don't really tune in to watch them. It's like we tune in to watch ourselves.
Right.
It's like that shining that mirror back to nature. We want to see ourselves and what we can relate to. Mm-hmm. And I definitely think like with all of these, I mean, the main four characters that it surrounds, like there's parts of us in all of them, or parts of them in all of us. And, because people ask like, hey, how close am I to Tom? And it's like, I'm very close to Tom. It's like, I feel like I am Tom, but at the same time, like there's elements of Bill that I've experienced. There's elements of John, definitely, that I've experienced, still a dreamer, trying to figure it out. Your friends got it all dialed in and you're just like tagging along, like freeloading a little bit as they're supporting they're patient with your dream following or whatnot. And, parts of Mike, right? So it's all like, I think it's absolutely, there's relatability in all of us. And that's what, touching on dating as adults, like we're not in college anymore, we're all kind of beyond that in our 30s and our pro lives. And now, none of us are married, none of us have kids.
Right.
And we're just trying to figure that out.
There's a lot of relationships going on. And the mother, John's mother, because John is kind of the one still trying to figure it out. And John's mother is hitting on all of his friends. And one thing, excuse me, that really stood out to me, which is a beautiful thing that I think Tyler Perry works play with, is kind of the darker side of urban culture and family dynamics. Yeah. Like this mother, like talk about, I'm just going to say it, designing a relatively toxic or fractured man for a woman to date later on in life, with some of the antics in the relationship between the mom and John. And I know that it's nuanced to say that, but it's funny and we laugh, but we laugh to keep from crying. Because I can think of multiple people in my life who I know that mother.
Yeah. And that's kind of the thing. I mean, it's somewhat designed like the Miss Alice played by Chandra Corelli, who's phenomenal, by the way. But she's great. She's so great. And it's funny because she's such like a classy lady, so that no filter kind of crass Miss Alice is she's perfect in it. But yeah, I mean, I think that there's this element of, it's the comic relief many times in the show, but what lies beneath that, right? And I think what lies beneath all comedy is pain.
Hmm.
And you start to see like, yeah, I mean, how does that bode for John trying to date in the world? And it's like he's living with his mom, he's working with his mom, and she's constantly badgering him and at him, and that's and that's a theme,
It
I
is.
mean, that's definitely a theme in maybe you could say like a single black mother in this culture. You know what I mean? Not always, obviously, but like we've
It is.
seen it or elements of it, right? Like maybe no one has seen it to the extent that the Miss Alice represents, but it's like we've seen friends that maybe like their parents or mom or whatever doesn't really want to let them out from under the wing or
But then
or
bashes them for not leaving. It's almost like
yeah,
you're a failure because you still live at home, but get out there, baby. I want you to go. And that's a
right,
very,
right,
I mean, that is an incredibly real theme and
yeah.
idea of family dynamics in Black culture, family relationships, and then how that bleeds into the next relationship and what we have to do. I think it just maybe I hope that someone watches this and it is hilarious, and says, maybe I do need therapy. I feel like this show could tackle things like mental health, like um, different kinds of I'm not okay because I'm heartbroken that I might have let this
Mm.
one go. Like, am I marrying the right man? And I think that it plays so incredibly well to the realities of what it is like dating in these years. So, I have to ask, are you dating? Um, how is Atlanta? And like, do you have any crazy dating stories that could end up being a storyline? If you wanted to, if they were like, what would we say? Do you have anything that you could put in a show?
I don't know that my experiences would necessarily be show worthy, uh, but at the same time, like I am single and with no kids, right? So there's a similarity there, like in terms of like where we're trying to go in life, and that's not. I mean, I'm kind of recently single, and it was interesting because at a time I thought that I would be single until I was married. I, had gotten out of got out of a relationship in my, mid 20s, and then I felt like that's kind of tough I don't want to be, more string of failed relationships. So I stayed single for a while, and then, I recently did actually get back into a relationship, and it was somebody that, I really was in love with, and then there was but things still don't always kind of pan out the way that you planned. And a lot of that was learning for me too. It's like I'm so used to being single, that like you kind of try to figure it out, but you're a bit like just not savvy, I wasn't the best as a mate,
Like toddler learning to walk, almost.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
stumbling and bumbling around. Yeah, I
and
think
that and that learning, I mean, ultimately I think that that's what makes us better in the future, but um yeah, I think that like there is a degree of, I feel like every relationship ideally, is gonna like make me better for the next one, and it's life experiences too, like this is a new kind of journey, a new like chapter in my journey as well. So, just experiencing that, and as far as the city of Atlanta, I mean, everyone was telling me before I got here, like, oh, there's like a million single women to one guy, and I don't know that I've necessarily seen that. I mean, it seems like every other city, but I'm not like out in the streets like that either. Like I'm not super hitting the bars and the clubs. I mean, I'm a non-drinker. Like I'll go out with some friends here and there, but like I don't really. I'm not leading the charge on that type of ambiance.
kind of like Tom, kind of like your character. I'm seeing this kind of full circle reality.
Hey, yeah, like art imitates life or life illuminates art and all of it.
And that's a beautiful thing. So, are you guys in Atlanta still in quarantine? Are you guys still doing a lot of social distancing? You said you don't go out much, but
Yeah, I mean, and things have started to open back up. I haven't really, because again, that's I'm not really too much of a participant in nightlife too often. So I witnessed it though. I saw like some people were going in and out of this hookah lounge that was close to my place. I saw there was activity there. So I said,
Mhm.
oh, okay, there are people that are still getting active now. But
It didn't get
um, I kind of keep it simple. I'm getting some takeout. I'm going to the grocery store. I'm excited to get back to work. I mean, that's what I am more so looking forward to. Like if that was the opportunity to get back to work, then yeah, that's worth it to me. Going to a venue, to like a bar or a club, I'm sort of like, I mean, I could do without it anyways, right? So I'm
those
not
years
super in a hurry to get back into that.
right. The years we met each other way back when there was ample clubbing going on.
Yeah, I mean, back then, see, and that's the thing, like back then, I've always sort of been a tag along when it comes to, like a club environment. So it was like I had friends who were linked in to like nightlife in LA. So I would
Yeah,
just like hang on with them and we would roll. So it
yeah,
was the
yeah.
same type of thing with like same type of thing with like out here. I had a couple of friends that were
You,
linked in out here and I'd roll with them and like
you know what it is? I know you walk in probably the same way in Atlanta as you did in LA. It was like you guys would walk in and it looked like America's Next Top Model, or it looked like the new Backstreet Boys. It was always this beautiful United Nations of beauties walking in to the club. I remember.
Oh man, no longer, no longer. Only if I'm with my castmates, especially Monty. If I'm with Monty, then we good. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
He's
absolutely.
the he's the guy now. If I go out with that guy, I feel like yeah, I'm rolling with the star right now.
Monty's got the plug.
Yeah, he
So,
plays Bill.
yeah. So, and he's a great character. The one that
He's
got away character. That's what I call him. Monty is the one that got away.
and listen here. The reason I love that storyline, and actually I initially auditioned for that. Like my first callback was for Bill, and I met Monty at that callback. He was going for Bill, I was going for Bill, and shouts out to him. He was the better choice. You know what I mean? Like I'm so happy that like I loved that part, but like it was like when I see him play it, I'm like, yo, no one like this dude's the guy.
Yeah.
But it that part of us exists because like as men, we all kind of like I think it's different with men and women, just the way that we grow up. Like we kind of the way men and women are raised, I'll do a little of my own Mahdi philosophy, and that's like, even if you look at it from a young age, like the way in which girls play and boys play, you know what I mean? Like girls play things like,
Okay.
like house and like getting married, like weddings, all of that thing is like there's something that's like held on a pedestal for that. Like whereas like for men, I can't remember which comedian it was, but I feel like he really said it best, and he's like, men, we look at marriage almost like it's like a concession. We gotta justify it to our friends, like, yeah, getting married, but had some good times though. Had some good, it's like we gotta justify it, and we get married. It's almost like a defense tactic. We run into the woman who we're so interested in that we don't really want any other dudes to get their have at her. So in the storyline with Bill, it's almost like he just wanted some room to breathe at the time that he was knee deep in the relationship. He got the room to breathe, felt good about it. And then the next thing you know, now that
No,
she's getting married and she's going to like
like
be
deuces.
off the market for him forever. And he's like, wait a second. Because somehow, I don't know, it's like we want that reach back. We want
Yeah,
the ability. It's
everybody
like, hey,
wants
listen,
back,
it's like, hey,
except
right now ain't the time, girl, but like maybe in a little bit we can reconnect because I'm trying to figure things out in my own life. You know what I mean? It's like that's real. And
but
Mahdi has experienced that feeling, and I think a lot of men have, especially when things career related or whatever. It's like we're focusing on other things, or maybe it's just fear of missing out. Maybe some guys just
can
feel
they
like
not multitask? Is it men can't multitask in these relationships,
um
or
I think it's like the fear of commitment to some extent, right? Because like that commitment, sometimes it's the multiple, because that commitment, what comes along with that commitment? I think sometimes you think, well, if you commit in a good relationship, then you keep this woman in mind for all your life decisions. And sometimes maybe you're at a place where you're like, hey, like I'm still figuring out my own life, that I want the right to be selfish and just make the decisions for me.
And I think that's totally fair. And I do think that people we do put these gender norms. I'm not
Yeah.
really into them, but you put these on them and we don't teach men how to be in relationships. And I also think ambition, and I've said this many times, ambition can be the killer of monogamy. Because we're so ambitious. We want the next big car, the next big thing, the next great job, the
Yep.
next great apartment. And then sometimes we might reminisce, we might have the great apartment and then be like, damn, I really used to love that studio apartment I had on Figueroa right near USC because it was right off the highway. And you think about maybe that was the right fit. And
Right.
you know what I mean? So it's interesting to think about that reach back and how people want that reach back. Never too late. Look at Whitney. Walk up
Right.
to she says, baby, walk them up to the altar and snatch them up.
Well, and you want to, sometimes you want to be able to feel that. It's like, hey, like, maybe put it on pause. Like, okay, not right now. But that's the thing in the Bill situation in the show. I mean, it's like, okay, maybe put it on pause. I can't deal with this right now. But then when it hits you smack dab in the face, like, hey, this other guy got her. She's about to walk down the aisle. Then you start to feel, it's an interesting dilemma. Because then what do? Do you just like give the blessing and move on? Or in the case of Bill, it's like, hey, I really feel like she could have been the one because, at this point, you've had some experience, right? You're in your 30s. You've experienced other women. So if this one kind of like struck you in a certain way, then you start to feel like, well, maybe I'll never feel that again. And if I felt that way with this woman, then do I need to go after that? And that's a tough predicament,
Dropping gems today, you are, Frank.
Yeah.
Dropping gems.
Hey, I mean, I've lost some good ones. I've lost good ones on the way.
I know that's right. So, here's the thing. I don't want to go without saying the show is amazing. I'm incredibly proud of you. You did mention to me the other day you have something else coming out. Can you talk about?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this, what is it? Tuesday? I think it's Friday. I think Friday the 22nd. The Lovebirds with Issa Rae and Kumail Nanjiani drops on Netflix. I had a cool part in that. Great director Mike Showalter, who also directed The Big Sick that Kumail Nanjiani is in. He's like a comedic genius. He also wrote and directed Wet Hot American Summer, cult classic for those who haven't seen it. But yeah, super funny. I haven't seen that either. So I'm going to watch it when you guys watch it. It was supposed to premiere at South by Southwest, and then all of this happened, and Netflix did the deal. So Netflix, check it out. Releasing Friday, The Lovebirds. And those two they're phenomenal as a comedic duo because they're just both so funny in their own ways. So it's romantic comedy. They're dating, and I'm a coworker of Issa Rae. She plays Kalani in the movie, and he's a little bit like jealous of me. Like it's funny, right? He thinks that like she might have a thing for me, and like I have a thing for her. So then he doesn't necessarily like the relationship. So it's comedy ensues. So yeah, definitely check that out. I'm gonna be so.
I am for sure going to be checking that out. And I will post the name of the show. I will put where to find Mahdi. Mahdi, where can people find you? What's your links? Where's your website? How do I find you?
Well, yeah, you could check out, first off, BET Plus is the streaming app. You could check out Bruh. That's, they're always available. There's first 4 out now every Thursday. The first season is going to be 24 episodes. So,
oh, wow, we have you all summer.
New programming for the whole summer. Yeah, we'll take you through the fall with new episodes. And again, I'm telling you, like, these next few episodes really start to get into the meat of what's going on. So it's it should be an exciting journey. Mahdi Cocci is my Instagram, MAHDI COCCI. Bruh has a Facebook page as well. You check that out. Actually, the link in my bio on my Instagram is for Bruh Facebook page, so there'll be the updates for the show on there. We'll do like some live, like we did a live with the cast on Facebook, and we'll probably do some more throughout the season. So definitely, and it's a great team. Like I said, I can't be more thankful for my cast. These guys and girls are phenomenal, and
amazing cast.
When we get together, even when we get together on like a Zoom call, it's the chemistry's right there back again. So I think everyone will see it on the show that like we really do love each other. So it's a good thing.
Well, I know I'm going to be tuning in to Bras every Thursday, BET Plus live streaming. If you want to wait a little bit and then binge, that's great too. Mahdi, thank you so much. And also this Friday on Netflix, Lovebirds? Yeah.
The
Right?
Lovebirds. Yep,
Easter
the
egg.
Lovebirds.
Okay.
Check it out.
So we'll be doing that, and I'll make sure to send all of you the links on my live. So you want to make sure you have your notifications on. I'm coming back this Friday at 12:30 with another Lunchbox Lessons, and we're going to be talking interracial dating. Thank you guys so much for...
Shouts out to mixed people.
Yeah, shout out to the mixed babies. You and me, baby. You and me. You see what I did there? Wrapping it up. So until Friday, Lunchbox Lessons, 12:30 right here. I'm your favorite unapologetic sexologist. Until next time, people. Bye-bye.
Michelle, thank you.
No problem.
Ciao.